Hi everybody, greetings from Restoration Church. In my last message, I focused on Jesus' last 7 sayings as he hung dying on the cross. Just to refresh your memory and my memory, these are the 7 sayings. The first one was, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. The second saying, Jesus turned to the criminal and said, today you will be with me in paradise. The third saying, Jesus turned to his mom and said, Woman, behold your son, and to the disciple, behold your mother. His fourth saying, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which is to say, my God, why have you forsaken me? His fifth saying, I thirst. His sixth saying, it is finished. And then his seventh saying, into your hands I commit my spirit. Now, these were very powerful and significant for all of us. Today, however, I want you to come along with me, and together we will look at Christ's first 7 post-resurrection sayings, all of which I will draw from the Gospel of John chapter 20. Jesus' first saying after he rose from the grave is found in John 20:15. There he asked Mary Magdalene, Woman, why are you weeping? Who are you looking for? You see, early Sunday morning, Mary came to the tomb looking for Jesus' body, and not finding it, she was filled with despair, weeping. So she went and got Peter and John, but after Peter and John came with her to the tomb and saw the empty tomb, they returned back home. However, Mary stayed back, still weeping. Anyway, not long after that, she saw Jesus, but she didn't know that it was Jesus. That's when Jesus asked her a poignant 2-in-1 question. Jesus asked her, Woman, why are you weeping? Who are you looking for? Now, I want to ask you the same questions right now. Why are you crying? What's been bothering you? What exactly are you looking for? Like Mary Magdalene, do you know that the answer is staring you right in the face? The answer is none other but Jesus, and not the name it and claim it feel-good words that false prophets today are preaching and teaching. Jesus' second saying was simply Mary. Mary. And now this is found in John chapter 20 verse 16. Now, who are you? Let me ask you this question. Who are you? What is your name? Are you aware that Jesus knows your identity? How long have you been crying? What is the problem that's bothering you? Now, listen carefully. Jesus knows you. He knows me. He knows our names. And he's calling us. He's calling you. He's calling me. I have responded. What about you? Have you responded? If not, he's calling you right now and he's waiting for you to respond. Now, Jesus' third saying was, touch me not, for I am not yet ascended to my Father. And this is found in John chapter 20 verse 17. Now, the Greek word for touch, because Jesus said, touch me not. The Greek word for touch means to cling to grasp onto, to hold on to. Now, so Jesus is saying to Mary, stop clinging to me. Stop holding on to me. As I said earlier, you may have been crying. You may have been praying. You may have been crying, praying, expecting God to answer you immediately. But he's already responded. But it's not the answer that you were looking for. He's saying to you right now, not now. I'm the mediator between you and my Father in heaven. Just be patient, because there's something much more important that I want you to do for me. Which is what Jesus is saying. We've got to learn to let go, even if it seems like Jesus isn't answering our prayers. We need to pause and listen. Jesus is saying that he wants you to do something for him. Do you get it? It's about him, it's all about Jesus. And he wants you to, do something for him. So what is it that he wants you to do for him? That brings us to Jesus saying, the fourth saying. This is also found in John chapter 20, verse 17. And it was, go to my brothers, go to my brethren, and say unto them, I ascend unto my Father and your Father, and to my God and your God. Now, that's a mission. That's a mission right there. See, you're so important to Christ. I'm so important to Christ that he wants us to do something for him. He wants us to go on a mission for him. Now, seriously, to what extent have you been sharing the good news? Have you left evangelism to your pastor all by himself? We just celebrated Easter. Let's go and tell people about the good news. Let's go and tell people that Jesus Christ rose from the grave. Let's go and share the gospel, the good news. Get ready. Get ready. He's alive. He's coming back again. So get ready. Now, Jesus' fifth saying is found in John chapter 20, verse 19. And it was to his disciples. He spoke to them that same evening. The same evening he talked to Mary Magdalene. He talked to the disciples and he said, peace be unto you. I mean, that's astounding. I said so because after all the physical torture that he went through, the emotional trauma, the spiritual abandonment that he faced and endured at the crucifixion, he still said to his disciples, shalom, peace. I mean, this is unimaginable blessing from the Prince of Peace himself. So while you are weeping, while you are troubled because of your difficult situation, his plan is to send you on an evangelistic mission for him. Maybe you think it doesn't make sense, maybe you think that, I'm here to tell you that all along, he's got your peace of mind at heart. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about. God has your peace of mind at heart. That's why he says, peace be unto you. That's what he told the disciples. Now, isn't it awesome to know that when all said and done, peace is still in your hearts? Your Prince of Peace is with you. So put him first in all things. Now, I just want you to notice carefully Jesus' sixth saying, which is found in John chapter 20, verse 21. Here, he repeats the same two previous statements. He said, peace be unto you. As my Father have sent me, even so I sent you. Now, this is Christ's heart. First, our peace. Your peace, my peace. And then secondly, he wants you and I to go and tell others he's offering a peace that passes all understanding. To whoever will accept it, to whoever will receive it, so it is a big, great, and beautiful deal. Just go and tell people about Jesus Christ, and he will give you his peace that passes all understanding. Now, in John chapter 20, verse 22, is Christ's seventh saying. You know what? After briefing on his disciples, he said to them, receive the Holy Spirit. Receive the Holy Spirit. Now, what does it mean by that? Before answering, let me tell you this. Please listen carefully. Today, the charismatics, for whom I coined the word charis probra, charis meaning a gift, right? And probra means abuse. So charis probra, they run around church services, blowing on people and claiming it's the Holy Spirit. Compare that, what they're doing today, with what Jesus did and said in John 20, verse 22. Don't allow yourself to be fooled by these false preachers who, with their hands deep in your pockets, claim to be vicars of Christ, when in fact they're charlatans and tricksters, and they're fleecing you for your money. When Jesus breathed on his disciples, it wasn't for their personal health and it wasn't for their personal wealth. It was to empower and send them to go out and spread the good news. As my Father has sent me, even so I send you, Jesus told the disciples. Now, listen, breathing upon them represented something very significant, something very important. It actually represented the nature of the influence that will come upon them and the source of that influence. And the source of that influence is the Holy Spirit. That's why Jesus said to them, receive ye the Holy Spirit after he breathed upon them. Meaning that the disciples and all true believers will be endowed with the influences of the Holy Spirit. Remember, since the disciples hadn't yet received the Holy Spirit, receive the Holy Spirit was a symbol, a pledge, a confirmation of what they were to receive on the day of Pentecost. That was 50 days after he rose. And in the book of Acts, what happened on the day of Pentecost? On the day of Pentecost, the disciples received the Holy Spirit. So maybe you're still doubting that he hears your prayers. Don't doubt. Our God is a promise keeper who does what he says and says what he does. John 20 verse 29 says, stop doubting and believe. Trust him and he will take care of you. Will you? Will you stop doubting? Will you stop clinging onto him and listen to what he has to say? Trust him and he will take care of you. Will you? God bless you and thank you for listening. God bless you.